On Another's Sorrow by William Blake, 1757 to 1827. Can I see another's woe and not be in sorrow too? Can I see another's grief and not seek for kind relief? Can I see a falling tear and not feel my sorrow's share? Can a father see his child weep, nor be with sorrow filled? Can a mother sit and hear an infant groan, an infant fear? No, no, never can it be, never, never can it be. And can he who smiles on all hear the wren with sorrows small, hear the small bird's grief and care, hear the woes that infants bear, and not sit beside the nest pouring pity in their breast, and not sit the cradle near weeping tear on infant's tear, and not sit both night and day wiping all our tears away? Oh no, never can it be, never, never can it be. He doth give his joy to all, he becomes an infant small, he becomes a man of woe, he doth feel the sorrow too. Think not thou canst sigh a sigh, and thy Maker is not by. Think not thou canst weep a tear, and thy Maker is not near. Oh, he gives to us his joy, that our grief he may destroy. Till our grief is fled and gone, he doth sit by us and moan. Okay, this is On Another's Sorrow by William Blake. William Blake was a British poet, an English poet. He came from London. He was born and brought up in Soho in central London. He was a poet and a painter and a printmaker. He was one of the original romantics of the romantic age. During his lifetime he wasn't famous, but as the years have gone past he's become more and more famous. Now, what's this poem about? Well, this poem is about empathy and compassion. It's feeling or understanding the sorrow and sadness of other people and being sympathetic with them. He's saying that sympathy is a beautiful human trait, but also a divine trait. Sympathy is something of God. Let's see, humans feel sympathy for others. When you see somebody who is unhappy, then you feel for them. And like this, he's trying to explain the nature of God in ways that ordinary people can understand. He's not using supernatural ideas, he's not using complicated things, he's just explaining it to you. So it's like a mother who sees her child crying, and the mother is commiserating with the sorrow of the child. She feels it's a natural instinct to feel for them, and like this he's trying to explain the idea of God in the same way, that God is there to destroy sadness, to cheer people up, to make people feel better. And the poem itself, it's about the sorrow of mankind, about the sorrow of all creatures. And this is something that is present in both humans and in God. And that it is difficult for people to, or impossible for people not to feel sympathy for another's sorrow, for the sorrow of someone else. Can I see another's woe and not be in sorrow too? Can I see another's grief and not seek for kind relief? So I think this is him talking, William Blake himself talking, and he says, can I see the sadness, the woe of another person and feel sorry and not feel sorry for them? It's impossible for me not to feel that. Can I see another's grief and not seek for kind relief? So is it possible? And I think this is more a rhetorical question. It's not only for him, but this is for all mankind. So can I see another's grief, another's sadness, and not try to find a solution for it? Can I see a falling tear and not feel my sorrows share? So can I see somebody who's crying, or can we see somebody who's crying and not share some part of that sorrow? Can a father see his child crying, weeping, and not be with sorrow filled? So here, these are all rhetorical questions. Is it possible for a father to see his child cry and not be sad? Can a mother sit and hear an infant groan, an infant fear? No, never can it be. Never can it be. So a mother can't sit and see her child groan in pain or be in fear. No, this is something that cannot be. So it's a natural feeling that parents naturally feel empathy for their children. And can he who smiles on all, so he who smiles on all, this is referring to God now, hear the wren with sorrows small? A wren is a tiny little bird. Hear the small bird's grief and care. Hear the woes that infants bear, and not sit beside the nest, pouring pity in their breast. So is it possible for God or for anybody to hear the tiniest of us, the smallest animal, any sadness in the world? To hear the sadness, is it possible for God to hear this and not sit beside the nest, sit beside the bed, and give pity, give empathy from their heart? This is a natural thing in humans, and this is a natural thing in God. And this is one of the qualities that God has given us. And not sit the cradle near, weeping tear on infant's tear, and feel exactly the same sadness for that child, that to cry the same tears as a baby or as any creature is suffering. So this is saying that for both God and man, empathy for the suffering of others is a natural thing. And not sit both night and day, wiping all our tears away. Oh no, never can it be, never can it be. So, and God is sitting by us night and day. God is always next to us, like a parent who is next to their child's sick bed or their child's bed, wiping all our tears away. So God is always there, trying to cheer us up. It can't be any other way. He doth give his joy to all. He makes everybody happy. He becomes an infant small. He becomes a man of woe. He doth feel the sorrow too. So he gives his happiness to everybody. And he puts himself in the position of this small child that is crying. He puts himself in the position of a man who has problems, and he feels their sorrow too. Think not thou canst sigh a sigh, and thy maker is not by. So don't think that you can be sad, that you can have a problem, and that God is not next to you, that your God is not with you, that God is always with you. Think not thou canst weep a tear, and thy Maker is not near. So don't think you can cry, you can be upset, you can have worries or unhappiness, and that your Maker, that God is not near you. Oh, he gives to us his joy, and he repeats this again. He gives us his happiness, that our grief he may destroy, in order to destroy our sadness, till our grief is fled and gone. He doth sit by us and moan. So until our grief, until our sadness has run away, has gone, he will sit by us and feel our sadness, feel empathy for us. So, this is about sorrow and sadness. On Another Sorrow by William Blake.